Marriage is a wonderful thing between two responsible people. But let me be the first to say it is probably not a good idea to marry your neighborhood local stripper. I was watching a podcast the other day. This young lady had on a white dress that was clear from the waist down, wearing a black G string, and her ass cheeks were out. And she was the bride at her own wedding. They in the reception hall. She in there twerking. Her husband sitting in a chair. She grinding real hard on him. And let me say this. This was a good looking woman. I'm talking about she was built like a brick house. This was a good looking woman. But it was the wedding reception. And that was called lingerie for a honeymoon. That outfit she had on, again, that was lingerie. If it had been just them two and that was his honeymoon, I'd have been like, dog, you get the thumbs up. You done did the thing. Buddy, that chick is hot. But that's not what was happening. This was at the wedding reception. She was gallivanting around this place, naked ass cheeks hanging out, G-string down the middle. And all I'm thinking to myself is, if I was in that place and I asked the husband, hey dog, you think it'd be all right if I dropped the 20 on that G-string? Would that have been an inappropriate thing to ask? But I'm not sure. Because again, it was a wedding. Weddings only last, 2, 3, 4 hours? The bride is supposed to be classy, virtuous, not naked stripper showing her ass to all your friends and family. And I don't know what kind of friends you got. But I know if my lady showed up somewhere and had her naked ass cheeks out around my homies, they might not say nothing immediately, but I can guarantee you, a week, maybe 2 weeks later, when we all out drinking and smoking, somebody gonna say something. Somebody gonna crack a joke. And the floodgates are gonna be open, and it's gonna get ugly. And I know you all heard that old saying, you can't make a hoe into a wife. I'm sorry. If you're gallivanting around in your wedding, showing your naked ass cheeks, wearing a G-string, you just might be a hoe. I'm not saying you are, but you just might be a hoe. Yeah, that just might not be wife material. But I understand why. Because like I said, this is a good looking woman. And I can see how that young man got caught up. But it might have been better just to be hitting her in the back of your truck, taking her to a hotel, putting a little cash on her, and moving on. But hey, talk about me. Me and my friends went to Vegas this weekend. Trip started out like any trip. I get on the plane, and I look up. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm in the back, in the 3-seat row, and I'm regretting this decision. 2 of the biggest youngins came and sat next to me. The guy looked like he was 300. The girl was about 250. And I said, damn, this is a 4.5 hour flight. I said, this about to be ugly. But to my surprise, they really wasn't on my seat that much. They slid over as far as they could, and my ride wasn't that bad. We land in Vegas. I say for the next 2, 3 days, we was drinking, we was smoking, we popping these gummy bears, we partying like it's 1999. Now midway through the 4th day, I am dead tired. It's about 7 o'clock. All I want to do is go to bed so I can go to sleep, so I can get my flight out of Vegas the next morning. Wasn't going to be that lucky. My friend's like, look, we about to meet to his Italian steak restaurant in Old Vegas. Now, I've been to Vegas before, but I had never been to Old Vegas. We park in the garage, walk to the casino, we go in the steak restaurant. The waitress come over with the menus. Now, again, I'd already been there about 3 days, middle of my 4th day. And I'd already spent at least $1,500 something in these last 3 days here in Vegas. Because I mean, we just was nonstop. I looked at that menu. These steak dinners was like $100. But I'm like, you know what, dog? This is your last day. You're going to eat this steak and we about to get out of here. So we order these steaks. We order these appetizers. We order these drinks. We get these desserts. This is the first time in my whole life I'd ever been nowhere and they actually had cannoli. So I'm like, oh man, we really in an Italian restaurant. At the end of this meal, it's 8 of us. The host stand up, or the coordinator stand up. And I'm going to call him Real Estate Tycoon, our coordinator. He said, look at y'all, I'd like to thank all of you all for coming on this trip. I got this. I'm thinking, damn, it must be nice to have money. I was scratching my head just thinking about that one check, my own 1 meal I had to pay for. I know dude had to spend close to $800 to $1,000 to pay for all that stuff we bought. But I'm still thinking now, okay, we done paid for this food. I'm exhausted, eyes red, drunk, high, everything. I'm ready to go to bed. Somebody say, look here, y'all. Let's go check out the pools. On the opposite end of Old Vegas was another gambling casino that had an indoor pool. But it's like 4 indoor pools in one gambling casino. And I'm like, damn it. But I said, you know what? You already here. I step outside the gambling casino into Old Vegas. I look up, they got a light show going on in the sky. I felt like I was on the set of a Star Wars movie. So if you ain't ever been to Old Vegas, at nighttime you have got to go there. That thing was amazing. This was like Bourbon Street on steroids with a whole lot more gambling casinos. And oh yeah, we kept drinking. We kept smoking. My friends want me to take another gummy. I said, look here, I take another gummy. Y'all gonna have to carry me back to the car, the hotel, the whole 9 yards. So we out there another 2-3 hours fun. At the end of the day, we get back to the hotel, crash out. My most restful day on that whole trip was the day I flew home. It was the 2 hours I got to sit down in the airport waiting for the plane. It was that 4-hour ride. It was about the half an hour ride home with my boy girl. Again, my most restful day was the day I left. But had a great time hanging out with friends. Hey, look at y'all. My name is Daryl Moore. Check out my book, Money Hungry. That's Daryl Moore. Check out my book, Money Hungry. Peace, love, happiness. I'm out.